35 Soviet engineers are packing their bags for Detroit. Not to defect, to take notes. The Soviet government is sending its best machinists to study the Ford assembly line. This ran as front-page news in a Chicago Russian paper, and nobody found it strange at all. This is the Russkiy Vestnik, the Russian Daily Herald, out of Chicago, Illinois. July 12th, 1926. Price 3 cents, roughly 55 cents today. It's a Russian-language immigrant paper, serving the Russian community of Chicago, and it is packed. Look at that masthead. Cyrillic above, English below. 2 newspapers merged into one. This city had a Russian-speaking world inside it, reading its own front page every morning, in its own language. Right here in the lower half of the page is the story that stops you cold. The headline reads, roughly translated, Soviet machinists are traveling to Ford to learn. 35 Soviet engineers, workers from the Putilov factory in Petrograd, are being sent by the Soviet government to Detroit, to the Ford plant, to study American mass production up close. The idea was, copy it, bring it home, build Soviet industry the same way. This is 1926. The Cold War hasn't hardened yet. Henry Ford and the Soviets are doing business. That is wild enough on its own, but it ran here in a Chicago immigrant paper, as though it were a perfectly routine trade item. Look down toward the bottom left. There's a short item, as best I can make out, about a military coup in Portugal. New dictator, barely a month in power. The old prime minister is out. It's 3 paragraphs. It sits next to a story about a man who lived to 85 and another about a student accused of robbery and murder. That's the front page logic of 1926. A coup in Portugal, a centenarian, a local crime, all equal weight, all in the same column. A European government just fell and it gets the same space as a Chicago court case. And up here at the top right, Mussolini. The headline says he has declared war on 3 women. That sounds extraordinary. But the story appears to be about him publicly denouncing female civil servants, or women in public life. The exact text is dense, but the framing is matter-of-fact. No outrage in the headline, just, Mussolini said this. That's the register. A fascist leader making official pronouncements about women as policy, printed flatly as news. What you're holding, really, is a window into a Chicago that no longer exists. A whole Russian-speaking city within a city, reading about Soviet engineers touring Ford factories and European coups in their mother tongue for 3 cents on a Monday morning. The strangeness isn't any one headline. It's how wide the world was in that paper and how completely that world is gone. Another front page tomorrow. If this one's got you, it'd mean a lot if you subscribed.